What's up, guys? Let's talk about low-end sports cards today. Maybe you're trying to figure out sports card investing and want to get a feel for how everything works, or maybe you just don't want to throw a lot of money at sports card investing. Either way, this is going to be the video for you, and I'm going to share my top tips for investing in low-end sports cards. But first, let's share the intro. We have 10 total tips that I want to talk through, and I'm going to just start at the top to keep this video moving so we don't eat up more of your day than I need to. Tip number 1, practice best practices. Even if you're just investing in the low-end sports cards, cheap, affordable cards, try to treat them like you're making big decisions, big financial decisions. If you can do well and profit on low-end cards, a lot less stressful and friendlier on your wallet. For me personally, the very first cards that I flipped on eBay, I bought a lot of 10 Patrick Willis score rookie cards, and I paid 20 cents a piece for them, and then I sold them for $1.50 a piece and shipped them in a plain white envelope with cheap shipping. Honestly, the margins were great. 10-year-old me was absolutely stoked. I thought I'd made it. And you don't have to 10x every card you flip to be a successful sports card investor, but you do need to bear in mind that you're trying to make profit on every single purchase, so treat them like they have some consequence, even if you're buying $5 to $10 cards. Number 2 is know your brands. We write these articles for Cardlines.com where we count down the top 10 most reliable sports card brands to invest in by sport. So here's the football one that I wrote myself. I also did the basketball one, and we have baseball and hockey on Cardlines as well. And we look at the brands as not only the most valuable brands, but the brands that best blend long-term value, potential, and entry point. So there are some of these brands that are pretty affordable. But if I'm investing in low-end sports cards, Donruss is always going to be the way I go, at least when it comes to Panini. The Fanatics and Topps equivalent is Topps, the flagship brand, but Donruss and Topps for paper cards are about as good as it gets. Even when you're buying Donruss, I do have some tips of what not to buy, but we'll talk about that later in this video. Guys, I'm going to jump in before we get to the next tip because seriously, I do have a quick, very easy favor to ask. I've been paying attention to the YouTube channel analytics lately, and it turns out most of the people who watch our videos don't actually subscribe to our channel. So if you could just do us a favor and hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and then if you want to ring the notification bell so you never miss another one of our videos, that would help us so much. We're a small channel and we're trying to make some cool content for you guys that's hopefully pretty helpful, but it's hard to do on a limited budget with limited resources, and by subscribing you can totally help with that. We also pick a lucky winner every Friday and send them a blaster box of cards, so you might get something out of it too. Number 3, diversify your players and even your sports. A good financial advisor is not going to tell you to go all in on one stock. That would be too much risk, and in the same way, try to diversify between who you're investing in and what sport you're investing in. By doing this, you're adding more breadth to your sports card portfolio, making it a safer investment. Number 4, don't buy base cards. I know that might seem counterintuitive when you're investing in low-end cards, but my concern is that if you just buy base cards, even if they're PSA 10, and even if they're an affordable brand like Donruss, 10 years from now there's going to be 15 to 20,000 PSA 10s of those base cards. Even when you're investing in low-end brands, I encourage you to buy parallels with the colored border that are going to have shorter print runs and therefore be more scarce and more valuable. Or if you're really wanting to go all in on a player and shell out some bigger bucks, you could buy an autograph. Here's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Here's a 2020 Joe Burrow Donruss PSA 10 that sold for $76 with $6 shipping. And then here's the same card but with the yellow press proof variation that sold for $91. So it just sold for about $15 more. If you go to the PSA population report, we can see that there are 5,500 PSA 10 of that Joe Burrow rookie that's selling for $76. But for this one, the yellow version, there are only 244. At some point, supply and demand is going to catch up. I'd pay the extra for the yellow all day long. Tip number 5 is to always buy raw cards and then get them graded. Here's a situational example from an article I wrote in early 2021, and the price of these cards have changed, but the math still hasn't. So in situation 1, you buy a PSA 10 Luka Prism rookie. That would have at the time cost $850, and then you're left with an $850 card if you wanted to resell it immediately, but you're assuming in this situation that you're buying it to hold and hope that Luka's career pans out and you make more money than $850. Or the second situation, you buy 3 raw Luka Prism rookies, and those cost $200 each. And you just have to ask the seller for more pictures, and it doesn't hurt to say, hey, I'm buying these to grade, give me your thoughts and opinions about the condition of this card. So say you did that and then you got all 3 of those raw cards graded at $20 a card, your total cost is $660, and your grades come back, you get a PSA 8, a PSA 9, and a PSA 10. At the time, if you would have sold these 3 cards on the market, that is $1,365, so you're over doubling your money. It's clear from those numbers that buying raw and grading yourself is the best move for the big profits, but like I said, please check with the seller before just buying the first thing you see on your timeline. Number 6, buy as an auction instead of buying as a buy. Now, we live in a microwave society when people want stuff instantly, but if you're willing to watch an auction and then get a bid in at the last minute, you're going to get a better price. On average, according to a small sample size study we did at Cardlines.com, you're going to save about 14% per purchase. Number 7, buy during the off season. Wouldn't it be amazing if you knew that Amazon stock was going to be 30% cheaper for 2 months every single year, and then you could just buy and make money when the market swelled? That's how sports card works. Every sport has an in-season and an off-season. If you buy during the off-season, you can save up to 30% consistently. Number 8, diversify your risk with different types of buys. Whether you're buying mid, low, or high-end sports cards, you always assume different levels of risk every time you buy a card. For example, a risky purchase might be buying the sleeper who you think is going to break out and could have a massive return potential. A safe investment might be buying a rookie card of a Hall of Famer that's already retired. Maybe you buy a Drew Brees rookie card. It's not going to go up a lot in value, but it's going to go up in value consistently every year. And then finally, the last 2 tips are very short and easy. Number 9 is don't spend more money than you can afford to lose, because at the end of the day, it's sports cards and you're taking on risks, so treat it like any other investment. Be smart with your money. And number 10, have fun with it. They call sports cards the hobby because it started as a hobby and it's all about having fun. Enjoy collecting and don't let it add stress to your life. Let it add some happiness and some adventure. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped. Be sure to watch some of our other videos right up here.